This programme has been in part funded by Visit Cornwall. Welcome to this week's Cornwall channel. As always, my name is Shane Solomon.
And my name is Mike Spinks. Here's what's coming up on this evening's show.
Coming up, we find out how to cook the perfect steak with head chef Ben Ambridge from the Longstore. Mike and Jake visit a popular place here in Cornwall. We bring you a look at Carnglaze Caverns. In our next feature, we find out how Cornish sails are made with our friends at Sail Shape. And to play us out on the show by popular demand is Backbeat-Soundsystem with their song Come Undone.
Well, as always, a busy, action-packed week here in Cornwall, and as always, we love to hear from you. So if you're watching us on our Facebook live feed tonight, or indeed YouTube, please drop us a comment.
Indeed. So we've had a busy week, as you can see from our what's coming up. We've had food, as usual, one of my favourites.
Yes.
We went down to Carnglaze Caverns, bit of history, again, one of my favourites. And then we were finding out how Cornish sails were made. Now, this blew my mind when we went down there, because you never really think about it. And obviously, Cornwall having a massive maritime history, sails have been made here for hundreds, probably even thousands of years, and we got a bit of an insight in how they're made right here in Cornwall.
And I had a fantastic Sunday afternoon because I went along to the Q Bar in Bodmin, where the Cornwall Channel sponsors the Cornwall County Pool Team. So a big shout out to all of the guys up there on the team for all your success for this season. I've got a funny feeling they're going to go all the way. I believe they've got the national finals to play in and everything. Now, these are the elite pool players of Cornwall, and we're very proud to sponsor them with our Cornwall Channel logo on the top.
Indeed. I saw the photo, and I think we've got a little bit of a clip as well to show. Yeah. Very impressed, very proud.
Really good break as well. What a break we had on this shot. He took a smack at it, and I thought, oh, the white's going to go down, the white's going to go down. And it doesn't go down. And you think, oh, he hasn't put, he's come up dry. But he didn't. Ball goes down, so...
So you're a big pool player as well, aren't you? Not on the team? I thought you would have been on the team.
The only way I'm going to get to wear one of those shirts is to print one myself, because my pool playing is not the best, but I have a big passion for it. Yes, I do. But, you know, it's one of those. I'm better off at sticking with eating steak.
Yes, which, mentioning that, so this is our first little piece. We went down to the Longstore, our friends here at the Cornwall Channel, and Ben took us through the kitchen to show us how to make the perfect steak. And there's a little few tips in there that you want to pay attention to, because this is how to do them. And every time I cook them at home, they never come out as well as I expect them to. But now I know.
You can never beat a proper cooked steak when you're out in these restaurants, though. You try doing it at home, I try, you know, it's not so good.
Never works. So these are Ben's tips. Take a close look at this.
So we're here at the Longstore in Charlestown again, and we just keep coming back because you guys just do the amazing cooking demos, and we love tasting your food. And one of the things that our viewers have written in to ask us is how to make the perfect steak. So we've come to you, and so explain, what have we got here on the plate?
So what I've done is we've just char grilled a nice big sort of 12-ounce ribeye steak. All our meat comes from a local supplier. They look after it for us, they buy it in, they hang it up for us, we get a good amount of age on it. And when it's deemed ready, they send it in, they take it off the bone for us, and they send it in, and we butcher it up into individual steaks like you see.
Brilliant.
What I've done with this one is we've smoked some bone marrow, some beef bones. We get them from the butchers as well. They split them in half, we smoke them, take the bone marrow out, fold it through butter, some salt, some seasoning, and we've just rested the steak and just put a nice good knob of butter on the top there just to soak in. So.
Well, I'm a massive steak lover, so I can't wait to tuck into this. But so how do you cook the perfect steak? Because I know when I have steak, I have it medium rare. That's probably the most common one to have it, but
sure.
And everybody's different. But is there any tricks or any tips that you can give people that are cooking steak?
So the best thing to do is, when you've got your steak, is to bring it up to room temperature over a couple of hours just before you're going to cook it. That means you're not going to have to put too much heat on the outside to get the middle temperature up. Obviously, there is a temperature guide for all the way from blue up to well done. So if you wanted it to probe your steak at home, you'd know that it'd always be accurate. Now we're pretty good at knowing when it's done by touch and feel. So yeah, we always oil the steak, not the pan or the char grill.
Is there a reason why you do that?
Specifically for the char grill, I mean, it would fall through the bars, but in a pan you don't want it swimming in a pool of oil. So if you just oil the surface of the steak, you're only going to get oil contact on the pan and the steak. Okay. We only season with salt as well, no pepper, and the reason for that is because the pepper would burn before the steak is ready. It burns far quicker, so we don't season with pepper at all on any of our meat. Yeah, and then it doesn't really matter how many times you turn a steak in my eyes, as long as you're getting the right level of cooking on each side. And then it's all about resting the steak. The longer the rest, the more tender it's going to be, the more relaxed it's going to be. When you put a cold steak onto a char grill or a hot pan, it constricts like a muscle and it tightens up. Which is fine, but then once it comes off, it needs that time to relax. So you can be served a rare steak, no blood, because that gives it time to release the juice, to release all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's all about the resting in my eyes. If you don't do anything, if you do one thing, just make sure you rest it properly.
Have you ever wanted to be a caveman? Well, this is your chance to do that by visiting a place that we've been to. I reckon you'd make a good caveman, to be honest, with your club, yeah. And
got the beard.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. So, coming up now, Carnglaze Caverns, a bit of an adventure. Not only there, but getting there.
It was, yeah. So, if you haven't been to Carnglaze Caverns, it's a fascinating place, as you'll see in the VT in a bit. But yeah, this was the day the snow came to Cornwall. So myself and Jake went down into the caverns to do the filming. It was raining horribly.
Got a shot of that now.
We got a shot of that, yeah, actually. We got a shot of that. And as we came out, blizzard. It was just total whiteout. Drove very, very carefully in the Cornwall Channel van back to HQ. Yeah. But a lot of poor people got stuck on the A30.
It was really, really bad. I'm hoping that everyone is safe now after watching that horrible storm come down. It's lovely to look at, isn't it? It's postcard,
it's gorgeous.
picturesque, shots. But the danger comes when you see all the jackknife vehicles on the road and lorries and everything. So, but glad we got back safely. I was stuck here in the studio. It took me 2.5 hours to go 2 miles.
A lot of people took a long time to get a very short distance, didn't they? Yeah, but so we were down at Carnglaze Caverns. It's the first time I've been there since I was probably about 8 years old, I reckon, and just as awe-inspiring as it was when I was just a wee lad. So take a look at this. So we're here today at Carnglaze Caverns, just outside of Liskeard, believed to be the only slate mine in Cornwall amongst many quarries, and a phenomenal place steeped in history. Now we're here at the moment in the Cathedral Cavern, an unbelievable space. We're going to be catching up with owner Caroline a little bit later on. Let's have a look around. So I'm now here with Caroline in what's called the Rum Store. Now Caroline, you're the owner here. This must be a phenomenal place to work and coming in every day.
It's not bad for a back garden.
It isn't, is it? So can you tell us a little bit about the history? I mean, if we start here in the Rum Store, why is it called the Rum Store?
In the Second World War, the Navy needed somewhere safe to store the rum.
Oh, really?
As simple as that, yeah. And the Navy, of course, based at Devonport in Plymouth.
So it's a phenomenal space, this, and we'll obviously see the chairs are set up here. What kind of things do you have going on here?
We have a whole variety of concerts and events that take place in the Rum Store here. It's a lovely, crisp and clear acoustic when you've got lots of bodies in anyway. It's a little bit echoey today with just us here. But we have folk, classical, jazz, orchestras, all sorts of things, whatever people want to put on, really.
You also mentioned as well, just as we came in, you've got some other residents here, the bats, which you said currently hibernating?
Yes, yeah, it's cold enough at the moment for them to be hibernating. They were fine until about last week, and then it got too cold for them. It's really about hibernating and conserving energy if there aren't enough insects to eat outside.
So do they stay in here throughout the winter and then they leave during the summer, or are they here permanently?
If we get a mild day, then they'll go in and out, but some of them live here resident all year, and then more come for hibernating. Yeah.
Wow, let's keep an eye out for them a bit later on. Well, thank you very much, Caroline. We're going to have another bit of a nosy around and find out some more of the nooks and crannies of this amazing place. So we'll catch up with you in a bit.
Yeah, lovely, thank you.
So now we've come down to the base of the Cathedral Cavern. It's just an unbelievable space, this, and when you come in, it really does take your breath away. Now, mining finished here about 100 years ago and was mined mainly by men and young boys as young as 7. And to be able to move this amount of rock is just mind-boggling. Most of it done by hand. They did a bit of using gunpowder, which was taken from Traeger Mills just over the road. But absolutely phenomenal. Let's take a look at some of the lakes further back. So we're now at the far end of the cavern, nearly at St Neot in fact, by what is deceptively known as the baby pool. Now a split in the rock actually takes the groundwater from above and pulls it down through to here. This pool is actually nearly 2 meters deep, which doesn't actually look at it on the surface, but we've been assured that it is. So the water from the baby pool actually flows directly underneath us into another lake, which we'll get to in a second, and then into the river Laveni down by Traeger Mills. So looking at the surface of the rock, you'll notice that it isn't just slate up there. Streaks of quartz can be seen, and also you can start to see what is actually rust, iron oxide on the face of it. And this was taken off back in the day to use for dyes and such like. Unfortunately, the quartz itself was actually waste material, but would be quite handy for rockeries nowadays, but probably not so much of a demand for it back then. So now let's head over to the mother pool, a much larger pool, nearly 9 meters deep. So we're now here at the mother pool, and as you can see by the turquoisey colour to it, that's due to the mica that you actually find in the slate. Now, the water here wouldn't actually have been at this level over 100 years ago when the miners were here. It had been a lot lower, and they used to actually try and bail it out. So this water actually makes its way through to the River Laveni, as I mentioned earlier, and then actually joins itself onto the River Foy down by Traeger. Now also, as you see behind me, some of the chains hanging from the ceiling, this was part of a pulley system to help get the slate out from the bottom of the cavern. And the turquoise water, as I mentioned before, really is a sight to behold.
Stalagmites and stalactites. That's what we're talking about there, Carnglaze Caverns.
You've covered this before, haven't we?
No, I
can remember stalactites from the ground.
Because of the G, right?
Because of the G. Yes. Learning day, every day, here on the Cornwall channel.
Indeed.
So we're going to go for a bit of an ad break now, so we'll see you in a bit.
From the installation of boilers to the repair of central heating systems, we have the experience and expertise to handle it all. We offer a complete range of boiler installation, servicing, maintenance and repair services, along with a 24/7 breakdown service at reasonable prices. All our heating experts are gas safe and Offtech registered. If your fuel is gas, oil or LPG, we can help. Call us today to find out more or visit www.rapidheatingsw.co.uk.
Since 1994, independent estate agent Jackie Stanley and her team have been looking after property owners and buyers from the Harbourside office in Padstow. Covering a whole of North Cornwall, it's important to Jackie that great care and attention is paid to all clients, and that herself and her staff go the extra mile to achieve satisfaction for her buyers and sellers alike. Honesty, integrity and discretion are key in our outstanding sales record. Visit Jackie Stanley online or pop in and see her in Padstow.
So you're stuck for ideas of what to do with the kids? Try something different. Try Player Ready in Redruth. They have loads of the latest virtual reality games, including racing simulators with hundreds of car types and tracks. We are also Cornwall's only indoor roller disco. They also offer amazing games packages for kids and adult birthday parties, stag and hen do's and team building. There's also a cafe serving great food and drink, and parking is free. Player Ready VR Redruth, and coming soon to St Ives. For great food, friendly accommodation and delicious local ales, come to the Griffin Inn in Newquay. Our Cornish restaurant and bar menu offers a traditional menu incorporating homemade dishes using fresh local produce wherever possible. Not forgetting our very popular Sunday carvery and sizzling steak nights. It is the ideal place to stay for business, a holiday or a short break in Cornwall. Visiting Cornwall? Think the Griffin Inn Newquay.
Are you missing calls? 75% of people don't like leaving answer phone messages. What opportunities could you be missing out on in your business? Fonetta Business offers a solution with its telephone answering service. Our dedicated business team answer your calls as your business and can text or email you straight away. From as little as £1 per call, can you afford to miss your next customer? Contact us to try our 14-day free trial now. Fonetta. Communication made easy.
At Cornish Gems, we have over 180 luxury holiday cottages across Cornwall, ready for you to fall in love with. All of our beautiful self-catering homes are hand-picked by our local team and meet the highest quality, cleanliness and safety standards, so you can relax and enjoy your dream holiday in Cornwall. Whether you want to visit the famous harbour town of St Ives or explore the long sandy beaches of Newquay, at Cornish Gems we have a gem waiting for you. Visit our website to view our tempting collections or call our local travel advisors today.
Sail away with me to another world.
Every week you do this to me.
No, I'm just trying to build in the link into the next VT.
All right. Yep, so we went down to Sail Shape down in Lostwithiel and met Alan. He showed us how they make all the sails down there, modern technology. He's got CNC machines, all sorts. A huge sail they had down there actually that's used for the transatlantic crossing. 1/2 ton this thing weighed.
It's amazing that this stuff is going on in Cornwall, and this is what we love about doing the programme, because you just never know from week to week where we're going to be and who we're going to be documenting the amazing work of.
Yeah, and it's all this kind of stuff that you never know happens, and we come across these people with great stories as well. So myself and Jake went down there to have a chat with Alan. This is their little piece.
So Cornwall has a strong maritime history, and one of the biggest parts of that is sail making. So we've come down here today to Sail Shape in Lostwithiel to find out the modern techniques and how sails are made. So I'm here today at Sail Shape, and I'm joined by Alan, who is the founder and director of Sail Shape. So thank you very much for letting us come in and have a chat with you.
Ideal, yeah.
So looking at the back here, there's, sail making is what you do. So do you want to tell us a little bit of history about the company, how you started?
Yeah, so back in 2009, 2010, I started as a sailmaker working for Andy Mitchell in Foy. And about 4 or 5 years later, I went there and bought the company, a very small enterprise, there's 2 of us then. And we progressed it to where it is now. So we've got 6 full-time employees, 5,000 square feet of production facility with our own cutting, all the machinery and design facilities. So it's gone from small to one of the largest sail makers in the southwest now.
Okay. So what's the demand for sails in Cornwall? Are you based just in Cornwall?
No. Initially we were. It was kind of the River Foy. And then we expanded out to Plymouth and Falmouth, but now we are a proper national sailmaker with ties to places like Antigua, Saint-Tropez, all over the south of France, all over the UK. We have a few yachts in Sweden. So it's more, I wouldn't say fully international, but we have our reaches across the globe, but we are definitely now a national sailmaker, yeah. Okay,
so would you say the type of sailmaking that you do, is it like a traditional, or is it, have you got your own sort of techniques that you use? Because I imagine if a yacht's built, is there just a template, that's what the sail looks like for that yacht, and you copy it, or do you have your own way of sort of designing?
So there's a couple of different types of sailmaking. There's kind of traditional sailmaking, which dates back to when there were tall ships and people hand sew, and they do hand sewed rings, and they put bolt ropes in by hand sewing. They use very heavy kind of old style cloths, cotton polyesters possibly, and that's now being phased out. That's for more aesthetics, for the classic boat market. Okay. What we're doing here is a modern sailmaking. So what you see behind there is like a Troy, which is using some of the most advanced Dacrons available, and we also use carbon fibres, Kevlars, okay. And with our new design facility, we can now predict airflow over sails and do full structural analysis, so we can really engineer the sail to be the best performing and best at longevity, on the market.
Okay, so obviously I know that a Troy is a small wooden boat, yeah. And they get raced obviously in Foy in the river there. Yeah. So how long would it take you from scratch to build a sail for Troy?
Well, the design, so from design to when we put it on the boat, the design is developing. So I've already done that, but I do a few tweaks. So you're probably talking at around about between kind of 15 to 20 hours from when I start cutting it to when we, send it out and roll it up and give it to our customer. But we like to go out on the boats and make sure everything's set up correctly. Okay. Yeah. For racing boats, that is,
Yeah, of course.
It's a different market.
Brilliant. And so, 2019, have you got anything exciting that's coming up this year?
Yeah, so, well, last year we were doing quite a lot of super yacht covers. This year, we've managed to land a contract for one of the Vendée Globe boats that's doing it in 2020, and that's a circumnavigation single-handed on an IMOCA 60. And over there, it's rolled up currently because it's so big. It's actually longer than this room. Wow. It's nearly 95 foot on the luff. And it's going to weigh about 1/4 of a tonne, this sail. So we actually had a small winch attached to the sail, so we could pull the sail through the machine because it was just so heavy, which was quite fun. But yeah, that sail has got to be made completely bulletproof because it has to survive the Southern Ocean for several weeks, the North Atlantic, just all the oceans that it's going through. It's going to be put through its paces, and it's going to be going non-stop for kind of between 50 and 70 days, depending on the race. So every single detail needs to be looked at, checked, and it's a big thing for us. For a small sail maker like us, it's quite a big thing to take on that kind of size sail. So yeah, that's going to be one of the big things for the next month, certainly. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for letting us come in and have a look. I can't wait to have a bit more of a look around and see what you guys do here.
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah, well, thank you very much.
All right,
and we'll see you again.
Well, just a bit of fun now. We're about to play our music video here on the Cornwall channel by the Backbeat-Soundsystem and their song Come Undone. But we thought, well, let's make it a bit more interactive.
Yeah, if you can guess where this video was shot, if you're watching on social media, on Facebook, YouTube, pop a comment below. We'll reveal after the video, but it should be familiar to a few of you.
Yeah, so just pop it in the comments below and let us know. Now also, if you've got a friend or family member who's in a band in Cornwall or a solo artist and they've got their own video made, then please let us know about it because we could play it out on this programme.
Indeed. So coming up now, this is Backbeat-Soundsystem and their track Come Undone.
Drowning if we just give up the fight, 'cause it's so rough, man. Being at the bottom when they're filling up their pockets, taking what they don't own. Yeah, you got that feeling deep inside, you're the one you hide. You know something's wrong, but still you close your eyes. Somewhere take you to a dead street. You want that trees to grow, but yet you plant those seeds. If they don't slip, it's happy running the bad Chinese, I'll be the new crowd. They push it hard, then I'll buy like I know sound. It's a harsh reality. For the tell me where do the wicked come from? We let them run, and if we let them run, we take fire, blame for the world last one till it comes undone. Tell me, where do the wicked come from? We let them run, and if we let them run, we take fire, blame for the world last one till it comes undone.
I do like a bit of reggae.
Yeah, I can see.
I'm just digging it. You know?
So, did you guess where that video was shot? It was, drumroll.
The rocks
no,
just fell
broken
off.
rocks.
That's right, don't worry
Never
about
mind. Anyway, drumroll. It's Charlestown. If you got it, make sure you let us know in the comments below if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube.
Well, it's been another fantastic episode tonight. I've really enjoyed putting this one together, and thanks also to Jake, who's been switching and producing the links tonight. And I'd like to thank the Milk Churns and everyone, but most of all, you wonderful people at home watching us here on the Cornwall channel. As always, we'd love to hear from you. Send us a message on social media or email studio@cornwallchannel.co.uk to get in touch with us so that we can, you know, answer your queries and see if we can get you on TV.
Indeed. We did mention last week that this week was going to be our air ambulance special. We have moved that to next week because we want to do a little bit more work on it, so keep an eye out for that. But that's pretty much us for this evening, so we shall catch you next week.
This programme has been in part funded by Visit Cornwall. Treat your senses to the finest flavours of South Korean and Asian at Zen Noodle and Wine Bar in the centre of Truro. Zen is a great contemporary place to dine, delivering modern Asian fusion cuisine, all cooked fresh to order with no MSG. Authentic South Korean barbecue grills at selected tables. Truro's hidden gem, the Zen of Zen.
Need a drone? Or a smaller drone? Or a bigger drone? Or maybe a battery, memory card, bag, or merch? Or whatever these are, to help you get shots like this. This. Or even this. Or you can even win £2,500 to spend in store or online in our monthly competition for only £2 per entry. Get everything you need at hobbymounts.co.uk.
Have you been to Bodmin Jail? Immerse yourself in the history and atmosphere of the former county prison. Spend the night in jail with our resident medium. Visit the tea room. Dine in the Governor's Hall and experience our fine cuisine, or why not sample our delicious Sunday lunch? So much going on. Wednesday ghost walks. Thursday scary cinema night. Friday and Saturday after dark experience. Weddings and daily heritage tours. Bodmin Jail. So much more than an attraction.